She laughed when she said it, that sharp, glittering laugh that used to charm rooms into silence. Now it cut through the marble air of our penthouse like glass dragged across stone. "Finally free of him," she said, as if she'd been waiting for that moment her whole life. Her friends clapped, champagne spilled, cameras flashed. Our divorce announcement had become her performance piece. She was radiant, too radiant. I smiled, because rage, when properly contained, looks a lot like calm. She thought this was the end. She didn't know I'd been counting her lies long before the papers were signed. She toasted to her freedom. I raised my glass to her downfall. When she laughed again, louder this time, I watched the diamond on her finger catch the light. The same diamond I bought the week she told me she was working late. The same week I saw another man's reflection in her phone screen when she FaceTimed me. That was when the marriage ended. Tonight was just the performance, and I let her have it, because every good performance deserves an audience. It started small, a change in tone, a secretive smile when her phone vibrated, a perfume that lingered after midnight when she swore she'd been at meetings. She was careful, too careful, which meant she was hiding something worth protecting. I didn't confront her. I didn't rage. I simply began observing. Her laughter at dinner became hollow. Her eyes, always calculating, shifted too quickly when I spoke. And every night she turned her phone face down, as if the truth might crawl out of the screen. She began talking about finding herself. She wanted to breathe, rediscover joy, live honestly. Phrases rehearsed from self-help books and guilt. I nodded, smiled, played the part of the complacent husband. Meanwhile, I copied her cloud backup, pulled bank statements, followed the digital crumbs. There he was, the photographer, younger, lean, always posting black and white portraits of her, half-dressed, pretending to be art. Her betrayal wasn't shocking, it was predictable. What hurt was the precision, the way she dismantled our marriage piece by piece, smiling through every lie. As if infidelity was a form of self-expression. I moved like a shadow through my own house. Every word she spoke became evidence. Every glance a confession. She thought I didn't notice her new routine, how she showered right after coming home, erased text threads, changed passwords. She underestimated how quietly I could watch. I hired a digital investigator. Not to catch her in bed, no, that was too crude. I wanted the financials, the emails, the signed agreements. And there it was, a transfer, $600,000, to a private account in her name only. Days before she told me we needed to talk. I asked the lawyer to revisit our prenup. He almost laughed when he read the clause she'd forgotten about, one I'd insisted on years ago, back when love made her careless. 85%. That's what she agreed to for protection, because she thought she'd never leave. Now I watched her plan her exit, unaware she was building her own noose. At night, she'd roll away from me in bed. I'd stare at the ceiling and count her lies like stars. I began drafting my silence, preparing my stillness. Every smile, every nod, every "I understand" was a nail in the coffin she didn't know she was lying in. The morning we signed, she wore white, not as a bride, as a ghost of one. Her lawyer read through the clauses. She didn't listen. She was too busy imagining freedom, probably rehearsing her victory speech. Then the moment, the final signature, the page that divided our lives. She exhaled, smiled, whispered, "Finally free." Her attorney slid the document toward her, then froze. He reread the line, the clause, the number. Her face drained. Her fingers trembled as she reached for the paper. "Wait, what is this?" she asked. I didn't answer, just leaned back, calm. Her eyes darted across the text. 85% of all marital assets to me. Her companies, her stocks, her beloved penthouse. Her voice broke. This isn't right." It's exactly what you signed, I said quietly. Years ago, when you loved me enough not to read the fine print. She looked at me then, not as a husband, as a stranger she'd never really known. Her laughter died somewhere between disbelief and panic. The room went silent, except for her shallow breaths. "You can't do this," she whispered. "I didn't," I said. "You did." I stood, buttoned my jacket, and looked down at her trembling hands. She tried bargaining, words tumbling over themselves, promises, tears, hysteria, but the damage was already written in ink. "Think of everything I gave you," she pleaded. "I have," I said, "and I've given it all back." I handed her my wedding ring. Cold metal, final weight. For the first time in years, I felt something close to peace. She sank into the chair, mascara bleeding down her cheeks, muttering disbelief. Her freedom, so loudly celebrated, had just become her sentence. And I walked away. The sky outside was gray, beautifully indifferent. I didn't feel triumph, not even satisfaction, just stillness. I thought about all the years she spent pretending, all the lies dressed as love, and how easy it was to destroy herself once the mask slipped. People say revenge changes you. They're wrong. It just clarifies who you've always been beneath the noise. She thought she'd written the final act, but I was the author all along. As the elevator doors closed, I caught my reflection in the metal. Calm, cold, unrecognizable. Freedom doesn't always come from leaving someone. Sometimes it comes from watching them fall, quietly, into the hole they dug themselves. And as the doors sealed shut, I smiled. She laughed first, but I had the last word.